how to create your own cushion covers. A lot of times your cushions will go bad and you need to replace them, and they're very simple. I'm going to show you how I'm creating one today. So first you need to have your foam, and then you have to measure the length. In this case it's 44 inches, and then the width is 20. I'll show you right now. It's 20 inches. It's on an angle, that's why. It's 20 inches by 44. Now you have to measure how thick is it. Okay, so like in this case, it's 3 inches from here to here. 3 inches. Once you have the measurement, it's 20 by 44, right? 20 by 44. Then you have to add 3 inches for the thickness times 2, right? That's 6 inches. But then on the bottom, I want the material to go underneath because I'm using a different material as the bottom, and I'm adding a big zipper. So I'm adding 3 inches because I want to finish it at 2.5 inches. Let's say this is the underneath. Then the the main fabric will get somewhere here, right? So I added 20 on the width. 20 plus 6, which is the thickness, plus 6 inches that goes underneath. That equals to 32 wide, right? So this is very important. And then on the length, you do the same thing. So now I just need to add 12 inches, right? Because I don't need to do all of these numbers anymore. So now 44 plus 2, that's 56 inches. So now I have to cut it at 56 inches. My material is 55.5 inches, which is okay. It's fine. So I just cut um, 32 inches wide and then just go across the material, and then I have that. So now, um, I have to deduct. Okay, so now in order to come out with the piece that is gonna be underneath, so it's gonna look something like this. So now I have to determine the size. So from 20, if I deduct 6 inches, that's 14. But what about the 1 inch seam allowance? Then you add it back to 15. That's the width. And then 44, it's the flat size, right? Minus 6 inches. So that's 38. But you have to add back 1 inch for the seam allowance. So that's 15 by 39. So I cut it already. This is how it's going to look like when I'm done. This is the center piece. This is not the same fabric as the main fabric. I'm going to show you. I'm using vinyl in this case, and I went ahead and added a zipper on it. Basically, the zipper, it has to go from side to side, because if you do a smaller zipper, you're going to have a hard time because the foam gets stuck actually in adhere to the material. So I did that one time. I just did the opening at the entrance somewhere here, and it was horrible. So I'm adding a zipper from one end to another on the length. This is vinyl gray, and I went ahead again to add the zipper. This is the puller already, and now I'm just gonna join that to the bottom portion, the bottom part. But the most difficult part, I think this is very easy. The most difficult part, I don't know if you see here, I have a piece of fabric on this, because the most difficult part is to figure out the corners, what kind of cut you're gonna give to the corner. This is how the cut looks like, so you have to cut that out. So basically what I did is very simple. I measured 3 inches here, 3 inches here, right? And then that's for the portion that is gonna go underneath. But I also measured 3 inches here and 3 inches here to find the right point where the corner ends. So basically I had to cut out this little piece in order to create this shape. See how it is? See how it is? So this will go here, but this will go underneath. I can show you guys right now. When I finished doing this kind of calculation with the cutting and everything, I tested on a piece of fabric. That's why you see this fabric on the corner. Test came out perfect. Look how nice it is, molding on the foam, and see the corner. So at that point when I tested on this fabric, I know my calculation and tracing and cutting was perfect. So then I went ahead and cut it from the vinyl. But now what I'm going to do, I'm going to test it for the sake of visuality, because I want you guys to see it. I'm basically doing this for you guys, because for me I just need to sew it and finish it, but I'm doing it for the sake of a good video and a good tutorial. And voila, here you go. Looks awesome. I'm gonna flip. This is how it looks like. Look at the corners. It still needs to be pulled a bit more because I'm missing that, but once I sew this piece on, then it should be good. See, I did a quarter stitch, top stitch on this one, and it's gonna pull both ends in, and it's gonna look better. So now I'm joining the bottom piece with the zipper. So I'm going over it on top of it because the zipper tape tends to grow. So I'm gonna go over this fabric, and this fabric is kind of rigid, meaning it doesn't stretch. So here we go. I'm gonna add an automatic tacking at the end. That way it's reinforced. So I finished closing the other end, but I need to do a top stitch. So I used a 1/4 inch top stitch to do the second top stitch on this piece. Use this little fix. For some of them are movable because they go up and down. I'll show you right now. Would be something like this, but it's kind of, you see how it moves up and down because it probably has a spring right there. I don't really find them good when you sew straight lines like this in this kind of thickness. It's better if you use a fixed 1/4 inch foot. I still need to close the other side of it. So my suggestion to you guys is to leave this open, because if you have the zipper closed all the way, then it's gonna be hard to kind of open it. I've done that thing in the past, and it's horrible. So you have to unsew and then pull it down, but that's why you have to leave it. Here's our cover, guys. Now in order to put these corners through, you have to kind of grab it and force it in. In fact, this is how I grab it and put it in the center, and then it just goes like that. Not easily like that, but that's how it works. So here we go. It's finished, and that's how it looks like. I hope you enjoyed the journey how to make your own cushion covers, and if you want to make them from brand new cushions as well, you just buy the foam, the right size, and that's how you do it. I use vinyl this time and fabric on the bottom. Vinyl stretches a little bit, that's why it looks a little bit like kind of in a curve condition, but once it's on the seat, you should be fine. And it's better to be a little bit tight, not too tight, just a little bit tight. Thank you for following Gil Sewing channel. See you next time.